If it'll feed nothing else, it'll feed my revenge. He hath disgraced me and hindered me 500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated my enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands? Hath not a Jew organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same family, hurt with the same burdens, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you shall wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you and the rest, we will resemble you in it. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what is his humanity? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be? By Christian example. Why revenge? The villainy you teach me, I will execute. It shall go hard, but I'll better the instruction. Thank you.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone. If possible, Jew, Gentiles, black men, white, we all want to help one another. That's what human beings are. We want to survive on each other's happiness, not on each other's misery. We don't want to hate or despise one another. In this world, there is room for everyone. The earth is rich and can provide for everyone. But sadly, the greed has bittered the men's souls. It has boosted us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. We have developed machinery that gives abundance, but now has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. More than machinery, we need humanity. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all shall be lost. Aeroplane and radios have brought us closer together, but the very nature of his invention cries out for universal brotherhood, cries out for unity. Even now, millions of people are hearing me. Millions of despairing men, women and children who are victims of the system, but the men get tortured and imprisoned innocent people. Those who can hear me, I say do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The dictators die. The power they took from the people will be returned to the people. Until and unless the men die, the liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think and what to feel. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to men who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as a cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. Soldiers, you are not machine, you are not cattle, you are men, you have the love of humanity in your heart. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved, the unnatural hate. Soldiers, don't fight for liberty, soldiers, fight for liberty, don't fight for slavery. Even now, in the 17th chapter of St. Luke, it is written that the kingdom of God is within one man. Not a group of men, nor a one man. Within all the men, you have the power to create happiness, you have the power to create machines, you have the power to create wonderful life, you have the power to make this life beautiful and adventurous. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us unite, let us use this power to fight for a new world, a decent world, where men get chance to work, the youth will have a future and old age is security. Soldiers, by the promise of these things, brutes have risen to the power. But they lie. They lie. They never fulfill their promise and they never will. Soldiers, dictators free themselves but enslave other people. Soldiers, peace type of world. Fight for a world of reason, where men and science progress together to form a happy and new world. A world to do away with all the national barriers, to do away with all the barricades, to do away with all the humanity. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us unite! Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to praise Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus had told him Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. And previously had Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's favor. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus said he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He had brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransom is the general purpose still. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? That when the poor have tried, Caesar had wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Purbalite thrice presented him a kingly crown, to which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, Brutus is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. So what cause withholds you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment, thou art fled to Brutus' feasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is at the coffin there in Caesar, and I must pause till it comes back to me. But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world, now lies in there. And none so poor to do him reverence. Oh masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who, you all know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I would wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. This is will. Let the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. And they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds and dip their napkins in his sacred blood. Yeah, dying mentioning to them their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto the nation. Good morning, everyone. I'm serial number 4. When I stand before you, O judges of this realm, to lead the prosecution of Adolf Eichmann, I do not stand alone. With me, we have 6 million accusers, but they cannot rise to their feet. They cannot rise to their feet and point their finger at the man with the dog with the crime, JQs, for they are now ashes. Ashes piled high on the hills of Auschwitz and the fields of Treblinka. Their graves scattered throughout Europe. Their blood cries out, but their voice is still. And therefore, will I be their spokesman in their name? Will I unfold this terrible indictment? Never down the long blood-stained road traveled by these people, never since the early days of his nationhood, has any man arisen to do so grievous a blow as did Hitler and his regime, and Adolf Eichmann as its executive arm for destruction of Jewry. This court knows no other example against whom could be drawn such a bill of indictment. In this trial, we shall encounter a new kind of killer, the kind that exercises its bloody craft behind a desk and only occasionally does the deed with its own hand. But it was his word that put the gas chambers into the action. He lifted the telephone and the railway trains left for extermination.
He signed the dooms of thousands of Jews. He had but to give the orders, and the troopers left to root the Jews out of their home, to beat them and torture them, and even after brutality and violence, after all that we brought from them. Even their dead bodies were not immune. Gold teeth were extracted, and wedding rings were torn apart. Millions were condemned to death, not for any crime, not for anything they had done, but only because they belonged to the Jewish people. The Nazi, the romantic Christian, the family man, who on the surface seemed to be a loving husband and a merciless father, the lover of nature, was revealed to be a monster of insane brutality in the concentration camp, who did not even hesitate to trample on human beings as if they were insects. Thank you.
I, candidate number 5, will be imitating a speech of Subhash Chandra Bose. You give me your blood and I shall give you your freedom. Spoken by him to the INA on July 4th, 1944. Promoting the struggle of armed uprising against the British. Friends, 12 months ago, a new program of total mobilization or maximum sacrifice was placed before us Indians in East Asia. Today, an even bigger program of total mobilization lies before you, which can only succeed if, in addition to the forces on land, we have forces on the sea and air. If we have a modern army with modern equipment. As you all may know, the fall of Rangoon and the invasion in Burma made it necessary for us to retreat from the border of India. But today, we are leading an invasion from a new base. We have confidence in our ultimate success. Now, our top priority should be to mobilize all our troops and all our efforts to one combined march straight to Delhi, our final march to liberate our motherland. My friends, comrades, I assure you I am confident that if every single man and woman in this cooperation and organization cooperates, then we shall be able to masterfully and liberate our motherland. My friends, today, you becoming the part of the INA have voluntarily taken a code of conduct and discipline which requires the greatest sacrifice and suffering. Comrades, my friends, today, you, the Indian Army's liberation, you have taken the code of conduct and discipline which requires the greatest sacrifice and suffering. Today, I request from you but one thing. I demand your blood. It is your blood alone which can avenge the blood that India spilled. It is your blood alone which can pave the way for India's freedom. Today, we lay the foundations for the path of India to freedom. I do not know how many of us will live to see India as an independent nation. Few shall remain to see the end of this freedom war. But I assure you one thing, that no matter how harsh, how hard, how long this struggle, the end objective of us is victory and only victory, and we will achieve it. My soldiers, comrades, my friends, let your battle cry be, to Delhi, to Delhi. I demand your blood so that I can give you your freedom. Give me your blood and I promise you freedom. We should have but one desire today, to die in this war so that our country can be paved with the martyr's blood, to desire a martyr's death so that India can be alive. My soldiers, comrades, to Delhi, to Delhi, to Delhi, Charlie!
To one and all, I'm number 6 and I'm going to imitate the speech of Greta Thunberg, the famous climate activist. My message is to the global leaders all around the world, and I'm speaking on behalf of all the young generation, all of you present here today. My message is that we all are watching you. This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back at school on the other side of the ocean. I should be present at school learning, but now I am here right now in front of you, and yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams. You have stolen my childhood with your empty words. And yet I am one of those lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is not in the brink. It is in the beginning of mass extinction. And all you talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? For the past 30 years, the science has been crystal clear, very crystal clear. And yet you continue to talk about that this will be done anyways. How dare you, when the solutions and the solutions that have been passed are far from being implemented efficiently. You say that you hear us and that you understand the urgency, but no matter how angry or sad I may be, I do not want to believe that. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? This is because if you really understood the level of urgency that is here and still fails to act upon it again and again and again, then you would be evil, and I refuse to believe that. The popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in the 10 years is a mere 50% chance of keeping us in the global average temperature today, and it does not end, dear friends. We are also on the risk of an irreversible chemical reaction that is occurring right now in the atmosphere as I speak. It is happening right now. And what are you doing? You say that this can be solved with technical solutions and it's just business as usual. How dare you say that? The eyes of all future generations are upon you. You are in charge right now and we need your help. Because this 50% risk that you have provided us right now is simply not acceptable. Because it is we who have to deal with your consequences, the consequences of your action right here, which you have done to us. How are we supposed to deal with that? Because this amount of emissions right now are carbon dioxide reservoirs and will be gone in 8.5 years. The world is changing and the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. Change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you.
Here's the spot. Out. That spot. Out, I say. 1, 2, 1. Then it's time to do it again. Hey, murky. 5? Why not 5? A soldier? And off it. What need we fear? Who knows it? And none can call on our past to account. Yet, who would have thought that the old man would have so much blood in him? The thing of 5 had a wife, but where is she now? What? Will these hands never be? No, my lord. More. No more of that, my lord. No more. You mar all with this starting. Here's the smell of blood. Still? All perfumes of Arabia cannot sweeten this little aroma. Wash your hands, put on a nice one, and look not so pale. I tell you again, Banker is buried. He cannot come out of his grave. To bed. There's nothing at the gate. Come. Give me your hand. What's done once cannot be undone. To bed.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny. And now, the time comes when we shall redeem this pledge. Not wholly or in full measure,
but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour when the world sleeps, India will awaken to life and freedom. This moment comes very rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new in an age and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, finds utterance. It is fitting that at this solemn moment, we take the pledge of dedication to India, to her people, and to the still larger cause of humanity. At the dawn of history, India started on her unending quest. There are trackless centuries filled with her striving and the grandeur of her success and her failures. Through good and ill fortune alike, she has never lost sight of that quest, never forgotten the ideals which gave her strength. Now, the question arises, are we brave enough to accept this opportunity and grasp the challenge of the future? Freedom and power brings responsibility, and that responsibility rests upon this assembly, a sovereign body representing the sovereign people of India. For the freedom of the nation, we have endured all pains of labor. Our hearts are heavy with the pain and the sorrow. Some of the pain continue even now. Nevertheless, the past is over and it's the future that beckons us now. The future, it's not a feast of resting, but of innocent striving, so that we may fulfill the pledges we have so often taken and the one we shall take today. The service of India means the service of the millions who suffer. It means the ending of poverty and ignorance and disease and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of the greatest men of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every man's eye. That may be beyond us. But as long as there is pain and suffering, so long our work will not be over. And to the people of the nation now, we make an appeal to join us with faith and confidence in this great adventure. There is no time for ill will and blaming others, no time for petty and destructive criticism. We have to build a noble mansion of free, independent India, where all her children may dwell.